Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're going to dive right into a really beautiful memoir that just perfectly captures the magic of childhood summers. It's a story all about family, tradition, and those simple places that, really shape who we become. So, let's do something a little different. We're actually going to start at the end with the final line of the piece. It's this powerful, bittersweet image that kind of hangs over the whole story. And trust me, by the end of this, you'll feel the deep love and loss it represents. So, where did it all begin? These incredibly powerful memories, this feeling of deep connection. Where did it come from? Well, for the author, Himanshu, and his siblings, summer wasn't about exploring new places or staying in fancy resorts. All their excitement, every single year, was focused entirely on one single journey. They weren't heading off to the typical vacation spots that you might think of. Nope. Their destination was something way more meaningful, a place that felt like the absolute center of their universe for a few precious weeks each year. That was it, Nani Ghar, the grandmother's house. For about 15 to 20 days every single summer, this simple home was their heaven. It was a whole world unto itself, filled with what the author calls pure, unadulterated joy. And what's so cool is that the adventure started way before they even got there. The journey itself, that was a whole event. I mean, picture this, a rickety bus ride from Ghaziabad that was basically a party on wheels. You've got this whole cast of characters, the grandparents kind of holding it all together, and the kids just giggling, fighting, and teasing. It was this beautiful, loving chaos. And right in the middle of this journey was Nani's Lala, her bag. Now, this was no ordinary bag, okay? It was basically a treasure chest stuffed with everything they needed to survive the trip. Homemade snacks, games, treats. It was just this source of endless comfort and excitement. Okay, so once they arrived, the vacation was officially kicked off by one very specific and very, very delicious ritual. It all began with Nanaji's simple philosophy. He believed in quality, and that belief was the very first step in a beloved family tradition. It started with him taking an expert shopping trip to the market to find dozens of perfect raw mangoes. And this just perfectly shows what the summer was all about. The entire family, from grandparents all the way down to the youngest child, would take part in this big multi-day process of making stuffed mango pickle. It wasn't a chore. It was this communal act of love. They were all sneaking bites, fanning flies, and just working together. And for the author, that unique combination of smells, wow, it became this incredibly powerful sensory trigger. Even today, that scent doesn't just remind him of pickles. It smells like love. It smells like summer. It smells like the purest moments of his childhood, right there on that sun-drenched terrace. The adventures weren't just kept inside the house, though. They also spread out to a place of both spiritual meaning and pure, playful fun. Their trips to Gangotri Ghat were defined by this beautiful simplicity. They'd stay at a pretty humble ashram, but get this, their room was the open terrace right under the stars, and their night lamp? Just the moon. Can you imagine falling asleep listening to your Nani humming hymns? Their days were this perfect mix of pilgrimage and play. It would start with a dusty, super early bus ride and splashing in the Ganga, and it would end with these fierce competitions over who could eat the most pani puri. Every single moment was packed with life. Yeah, even the reluctant homework sessions. Even things that you'd think would be an inconvenience, like a power cut, actually became these amazing opportunities. In that flickering candlelight, Nana would share his own history, his stories from the partition, and his army days, connecting the generations with his own memories. And all of this brings us full circle, right back to the present day, where the warmth of the past meets the quiet ache of today. The reality is simple, and it's stark. His grandparents are gone. The physical spaces they once filled are empty now. And those beautiful rituals, like making the pickles, they've ended. But here's the thing. The author explains that even though they're physically gone, their presence endures. They are in every single sensory detail that defined those summers. In the taste of mangoes, the scent of spices, the feeling of a breeze from the Ganga. Any single vivid memory of his grandfather's voice calling out to him during a boat ride just captures it all. It's this perfect snapshot of care, of urgency, of a moment in time that's gone but will never, ever fade. So what's the big takeaway here? It's that those childhood vacations, they weren't just holidays, right? They were formative. They were the roots that gave the author a sense of belonging. And that leaves us all with a pretty powerful question to think about. What places, what people, and what smells are the roots of our own stories?